Good day my friends and welcome back to the channel. We are with the Flight Simulator to test the newly released Avionics update number 2, which came with the last update for a flight from Jakarta International Airport to Singapore Changi with a beautiful default Boeing 787-10. We are going to test the package developed by Working Titles, which you may already know for having improved so much the CJ4 default aircraft. So the plane is being loaded on the apron and let's step straight into the cockpit. We are in a perfect cold and dark status. So if you're familiar with the Boeing 737 flow procedure, you would not find so much difficult to move into this plane. It's a brand new cockpit layout with big screens, but the position of the switches and the knobs, the buttons are not so different from the 737. So let's go to the overhead panel and start with the battery on, external power on, 1, 2, 3, and IRS on, 1, on, 2. I've set a real-time alignment. Let's get the navigation lights on. These are the screens light up. So straight to the FMC. FMC is this shortcut. And then we start with the same. Pause init. Reference airport, Jakarta Soekarno Hatta. It is ICAO W India, India, India. Next page, to get a position and set here, route, again WEEE to W triple S. This is Changi. And the alternate is fetch from SimBrief. It is Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo. So activate, execute. Perf init. Okay, we have to load the plane. We yet don't have the EFB, which hopefully will be completed. I don't know, maybe. So we have to use the default loading screen of Flight Simulator. So here we got kilograms. Here we have got kilograms. So payload, yes, kilograms. So our payload, or better, our takeoff weight, 04 weighted payload here, 37,557. 37. This is good. And the block fuel is 14,700. 14,700. Let's have 15,200 is okay. Center of gravity is in the range, so good. Okay, so back here, so 0 for weight 173.4. let's check again, sorry, payload 173.4. it is a little bit less than this anyway, okay, because a SimBrief profile isn't perfectly doesn't perfectly match the plane, so it's okay for us. Reserves, sorry, summary, reserves plus alternate, it is 6.2 tons. And cruise altitude is, why do I always close this, 380, cost index is 43. And we are done. Execute. Thrust limit. We are going to set a 45 Celsius temperature, which gives 80.9 D-rate takeoff, N1. And so climb 1 is armed for the climb power, and the takeoff is flaps. We are going to set flaps 10 degrees, and center of gravity is 20, and the FMC pre-flight is complete. So if we have to choose the runway for having the reference speed ready. Great, so let's go to the map. Load. This is the flight plan from Jakarta to Singapore, and the information about the weather. It is, where is information? Information, open airport here. Sorry, so it is QNH 1007 hectopascal, 30 degrees, dew point 26, 27 knots from 20, visibility 8,000, broken 20. So yes, a runway in use might be 7 left right. We are on this side of the airport at terminal 1, at terminal 3, which is the newest one, and is the terminal used for all the international flights. This is terminal 1 and 2, which are the older ones, and they are going to build maybe a 4th terminal in the northern area. So let's choose a runway 07 left for departure, and okay, so let's put this here. Departure. Let's check our plan. The plan is here. Where's the route? Where's the route? Flights. Maybe it didn't. So unload. Import from SimBrief. Here is the route. So it had not loaded the SimBrief route. So initial point is Delta with a Delta to Juliet departure from runway 06. We are going to use 07 left. Maybe I think it's the same. And so Delta to Juliet, 7 left. Next, Delta to Alpha. It's the only one available. Execute. Okay, flight number is Scoot is Tango Romeo 279. So Tango Romeo 279 here. Takeoff is ready, so we have the reference speed ready, set. V2 152, which we are going to put here in DMCP. (152) set. And we are done. Auto brake, RTO, and altimeter is 1007. It's set. Good. So we're going to turn on the APU. So back to the overhead panel. Hydraulic, let's set them to auto. Active door power on. Emergency lights armed. So let's switch the fuel pump on. Beacon on. PAX auto. So this is the flow on the overhead panel. We can hear the air flowing, and we can start the APU. Good. And the seat belts passenger signs to auto. We also are going to set the wing and engines anti-ice to auto. So we will not take care of setting manually those switches on or off. Okay, the APU has started, and automatically the external power unit has been disconnected. So we can go to the ground services and tell them to disconnect the power supply. We also have the passengers on board, so we can disconnect the jetway. Good. Flight directors on. Those two switches are still not independent. They are, maybe they will implement on a later update. Initial altitude is going to be, let's check the chart, and standard departure for 07 left. Departure is Delta to Alpha, and initial climb on heading 682 at or above 1000, and so this is above 1000, and we are going to pick this direction. Initial climb to Delta. No, sorry, Rutib. Rutib is our first departure point. So heading 2904. So Rutib, then Nipip, Idumu, and Delta. Here is Delta. So we can set our first altitude restriction is going to be Nipip, not above flight level 140. So we can set 140 here. Then if we had the ATC, they would tell us the initial altitude to set. Anyway, we set 140. This is set. As for the navigation displays, this is good for the captain. We will set the traffic rings. And ACAS, okay, normally in the 787 as based on some videos that I watched, the captain has got this shrinked ND and the engines on his screen, while the first officer has got the big map navigation display, and that you can, of course, you can change, you can switch, and you also can see everything with this package, the systems. You can even see the CDU here. Comms, it's not operating. The checklist, if you want to go through the full checklist, you can use it. And this is navigation display with the map menu. You can choose whatever symbology, airport waypoint, view our data, so on. And the map. And pretty much everything is working, or at least compared to the default aircraft. This avionics update gives you the possibility to use almost everything, every button, every switch of this plane. Okay, it's not study level. Okay, it's a big first step for having a more complete plane to use, but it's not a study level like, for example, the PMDG or the Phoenix. But it's a good start. In my opinion, it's a very good start for having a usable plane for flying online, for example. And also the flight dynamics and flight model and the behavior of the plane has been tuned for a better um, replication of the real aircraft. Okay, so let's select the CDU here, and we are pretty much done with the preparation. So we have the APU running, beacon is on. We'll still have the ACAS messages. So this is about the engines. Okay, Windows Eat had to be turned on, and recirculation fan off. Recirculation fan, I don't know, maybe this. Yes, it is. It was here. If you want to note, this upper recirculation fan has to be switched on. Logo on. So this is pretty much okay. This depends on the engines, and this AC buses generators will extinguish when the engines would be running. So let's ask for the pushback and a request pushback. Our tail is going to the left. Let's release our parking brake. And let's get the engine started. So it is we're here, engines starters. Let's start. So you don't have to deal with the APU bleed. It's automatic. So start number 2. You will wait for N2 to rise above 20. So 20, and get the fuel in. You have to turn steer to the left. Okay. Are we overshooted the taxi line? No worry. Let's start number 1. Sounds are good, but maybe it may need some sound package customized. Okay, 22 fuel in. Transponder is here. Let's set it to TA array. And stop, please, stop. Thank you. And set parking brake on. Transponder is here. Our code is going to be something different from 7000, so let's set 2000. You can choose between normal, above, below. Hydraulic, oh sorry, hydraulic, this is the electrical pump, be set to auto. Okay, no warnings. We are parking brake set, doors to auto, APU running, and auto brake RTO. So we can stop the APU. Set our taxi lights on, runway turn off lights on. And everything seems to be fine. Let's check if the QNH says changed nuts. No, it's okay. So MCP, our first heading was 78. So 78. So to set this heading on the MCP, this is the difference compared to the 737. You have to click on this button, and you can see heading select. It is kind of Airbus thing to click on the knob. You also have to click on the altitude knob to set the flight change climb mode. So to make it follow the speed you have set on the MCP, you have to click. After setting the altitude, you have to click here to initiate the flight change mode. So there are the small differences between the 737 and this 787, but nothing to be worried about in my opinion. So okay, we are ready to taxi, and so we can go. So heading selection, toga mode. We can arm our LNAV mode, and we can also arm our VNAV mode. This is like the 737. What is missing? Of course, flaps. Flaps. Okay, 10. And also our stabilizer. It has to be within the green range. 6. Where are we going? We're going nuts. Yeah, a first officer is definitely needed with those planes. And I don't know if your controls for the shared cockpit is working with these mods. It's a good question. So let's go this side. This is not a default airport, of course. You can buy it in the marketplace. I got it because I went to Indonesia a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed very much. And I've been here in this airport in real life, so I got the custom airport. I don't know the name of the developer. You can check on the internet. Just Google it. Jakarta International Airport for MSFS. In real life, Scoot doesn't have in its fleet the 787-10. They have the 787-9, and they have the Airbus A320, A320 family, maybe the Neo. Of course, they use the Neo, the 320 for the domestic flights, and while they use the 787 for longer flights. And in real life, this flight from Indonesia, from Jakarta to Singapore, is operated by a 320, and not with this 787. With this Scoot operator, I did the flight from Bali to Singapore with a. It was what was it? It was a 320, maybe. It is already darkening. It's dusk here in Indonesia. I think they have 7 hours more than here in Europe, GMT. So it's already evening here. Where are we going? I apologize, my friend. I'm not familiar with this airport. Even if I visit in real life, but as a pilot, as a sim pilot, I don't know where to go. Okay, this looks like to be the runway threshold. So, landing lights on, taxi off, strobe on. Transponder is already TARA. Zero 07 left, checked. Let's put here in the legs page. Yes, if we go down with the range, we can use the map here in the background. So I could have used it for my taxiing, for my crazy taxiing. Okay, so range to 10. Set brakes on. Let's give some power. 50, stabilized. The toga button is here. You can see the cursor, this corner, to click it. No, sorry, what I forgot. Yes, to arm the auto throttle. It didn't work. I'm messing around. It is armed. Let's try again. It is armed. Let's click a yes. It's going. Power set. Nice sound. Speed live. V1 rotate. Buzzer rate, gear up. As for the flight director, too much sensitive for me. Okay, 2000, let's autopilot on. LNAV working, VNAV speed, flaps 5 degrees. Speed checked. Auto brake is automatically set to off. Flaps up. $250. Let's climb to our final altitude, which is 380. There's an altitude restriction at Rutib is 5,000, and it is at PEB it is 5,000 or below, so it's correctly set. Limit the altitude to 5,000. What to do if we want to override this restriction? Simply push the altitude button one time, like this. You see that this altitude restriction has been overridden, and then it comes the next one is now operative, which is 14,000 or below, and the plane has been set to climb. It's a very aggressive climb, I would say. A little bit aggressive for me. Yes, what I'd noticed is that the change of attitude is a bit too fast. Also, the way the throttle move is a bit too fast, but I don't know if it's real or it's badly simulated. It is also true that we are very light. We are light with the gross weight, because the trip is short. So this normally this plane is used for a very long haul. So maybe if it's loaded properly, maybe those dynamics are correct, because you have plenty of power that is pushing. 10,000 check. Landing lights off. Taxi, turn off lights off. And logo off. 10,000 checked. So it is more or less, it's all automatic. And we may have a discontinuity here. No, because Delta is Delta, the next page. Now, of course, that's why we don't have the plan inserted. I was used to having the same brief plan imported. Now I do not have it, so I have to manually insert it. It's a big mistake. So no worry, we will put it. So this is our plan. So after G5, okay, so Delta, clear route, next page, Delta. After Delta we have G579, Golf 579 to Repov. And then we have 20 right at Singapore, Repov 1 Bravo. So execute. And departure arrivals 20 right. ILS 20 right here. Repov 1 Bravo. Transition IPNAC. Will it be correct? IPNAC. So this misses, please. Shots. Star. Repov 1 Bravo arrival. Repov Ramesh Dovan Bipop, and then you're vectored to those runways. So IPNAC doesn't matter. IPNAC, I cannot see any IPNAC. I have final fix. So this transition maybe is for the 1 alpha. No, maybe. Anyway, I don't mind. Execute and let's check. So the 14,000 restriction has been passed, so climbing to final 380. And we can set the standard bottle. So plan like the 737 plan, and legs and step, same thing. Delta, top of climb, top of descent, body, Repov, Ramesh, Bipop, and then Bipop discontinuity, IDVAS, Iduro, and the runway. So looks like from Bipop there is rudder vectors as it appears to be. Then approach is 20 right. Here, which is it was IPNAC. This was IPNAC, but the beginning is Igula, which is here. IPNAC Igula. So this, I think we can go vectoring ourselves to directly to Igula at 3,500 feet. Okay. So IDVAS, here it's IDVAS. So IDVAS is here. What if we can, what if we choose to have the so let's use this IPNAC. Yeah, I like it more. I like it not because I have two reference points more to choose. Execute. Okay. Okay, we can pause our streaming here because we have a lot of cruise Here there is another restriction, but I want to override this restriction, so again we click this and keep on climbing. I was saying that I will now step to the descent phase to make the video shorter. If you don't mind, okay, see you later. Now we are cruising at 380 final altitude. You can see the extreme wing flex, which is a characteristic of this plane. I don't know if it's too much exaggerated or it's like this. Very nice sunset. And I was telling you about the functionality of pressing the knobs. So pressing the knobs, it is corresponding to the speed intervene and the altitude intervene buttons that you have on the 737. So it's exactly the same function, which here is demanded to pushing those buttons, those knobs. And another things which I've found is that for switching from VNAV, which has got its own FMC speed, if you want to select another speed, another cruise speed, you have to press the hold altitude and the VNAV will disappear, and you will set your custom speed. Whereas in the 737 you just needed to click on the VNAV button to be able to use the selector speed. Here you need to press the hold altitude button to do the same. We are about 180 miles to top descent, so let's skip forward. Another thing, where did I get this Scoot livery? It is free. It is part of Orbux package, which is free. You can find in their site, and just download the Orbux Central and go to liveries, and you will be able to get this livery along with many other ones. Very nice. So that's it. Okay, so we are close to top descent. So let's put our VNAV mode again. FMC message. Reset MCP altitude. Of course, we have got to do it. So let's set something lower. Set 20,000 feet. And it should commence the descent automatically following the vertical navigation. It does not. It does not. Or it is. Let's wait. Let's wait. It does not so. Altitude intervene. So we have to click it to begin the descent like the Airbus. Here the vertical navigation path. Okay, it is trying to catch the profile, and we trust it will do it. In the meantime, we want to set some arrange rings for the airport. So legs, let's go to our runway 20 right. Let's put in the scratch pad, got the fix as in the 737 set fix. Requested is not in database. It's not working. Runway 20 right is not in database. 20 right. No, I don't trust this 20 right. Let's put like this, runway 20 right, not in database. Maybe like the Airbus USSS 20 right, not in database. Arrays fix. Wide, maybe a runway. Let's try with another runway. Runway 20 center. Not in database. There should be a way to do it, but I don't know. Let's get back here to the legs page. Runway 20 right. Why it is not on the database fix? Let's put in, I don't know. Okay, so the profile has been captured. Let's set a lower altitude, 10,000. And auto brake 2 should be enough for this gross weight. And let's set our so if we go to prog page, we have now 8.4. We are arriving with 7.8, so 600 kilograms less. 600 kilograms less. So here it will be 181.2. 181.2. With this in mind, with this we will have 30 degrees 146 for as approach speed. So let's select this 146.30 plus 5 for wind correction. Okay. I can't figure out how to set the fix. Maybe if we choose, for example, bpop, it will be, yeah, it is working. It is working. Let's try again with the runway. Or maybe should be named differently. Runway, no. Runway 20, right. No, it's not. Erase fix. Runway 20, right. Extend speed brakes. Oh yes, well, we don't care. 10,000. Why did it stop the... So Ramesh at 210. 210 Ramesh, maybe it's it's not a restriction. Why does it stay at 210? Well, it's not a restriction. To 0 knots. This is maximum 210, repo 210. But you can go lower. At or below Ramesh, there's no altitude restriction. I don't know why did it stop. And we have lost our VNAV profile. Okay, hold this and VNAV again. LNAV, VNAV. Well, now it's working, but I don't know. CFMS message enabled drug required. Drug required. Maybe it was 220. This is the speed needed for descent. Still in VNav, but I cannot see any indication of VNav working. Set 7,000 or above for the next restriction. LNav, VNav speed, but it's not in VNav path. So VNav, this is VNav speed, not VNav path. Yeah, VNav speed is a constriction, and we saw it in the charts. This is the magenta. This is again working, so maybe we are too high. We can prepare this QNH to 1007. 007 for information. 1007, yeah. I don't know why it did descend so fast and then level. So we are okay, we didn't select the transition altitude, and we go to the Prague init index the takeoff approach Prague. Where do we set our transition altitude? VNav maybe, yeah. Speed restriction, forecast, transition level is 130. Descend forecast, yes, it is here. Even if it is 20 right, maybe 20 right is the right fix. So fix C20 right. Let's see if it's working. 20 right. Bearing distance, bearing, let's put in this radial 025 025 slash, we try to set 10. I cannot see anything. Cannot see anything. Bearing distance. It's not the runway. It's not the runway. Race fix. I don't know how the runway is called. Let's try again with runway 20 right. No, it cannot be found. Okay, no, I don't care. So okay, landing lights on, and taxi lights on, logo on, and seatbelt is auto. Let's put it on. And our next restriction will be 4,000. Set 4,000. Here it has got only a speed restriction, but it's in the VNAV speed. I would like to set the VNAV path, no VNAV speed, VNAV path, VNAV speed. VNAV speed. Maybe staying in the VNAV speed. Okay, so we'll set the standard, the local QNH 1017. $10,000 check already done. And let's see the or maybe WSS20 right, WSS20 right, WSS20 right. Not in database. Not in database. I'm going. This drive me mad. That's driving me crazy. Seatbelts on, auto brake 2. Let's put on the terrain radar. If it's working, I don't know. Yes, so we're looking for this is QNH. Let's see the approach 20 right. 20 right has got a frequency 1089. 1089. 1089 at 2030, it's already pre-selected. This is nice, like the Airbus. Next restriction is 3000. I don't know, it's following the VNAV speed. Maybe it's more economic because it's following an idle descent, maybe. And I don't know how to switch to the VNAV path, which would be centering the diamond in the middle of the vertical deviation path indicator. FSC message: unable to maintain VNAV descent speed, extend speed brakes. Let's set flaps 1. And remove speed brakes. We are to follow the vectoring phase. (190), then not 205, so we better go to vertical profile, vertical speed. I prefer to go vertical speed. So vertical speed 1000 feet per minute and 180. Flaps 5. This gives a better control of the descent, the last phase of the descent. At Igula we should stay above 3500. Okay, so it's 3500 or above. Uh, 3500. I would auto. I do select the hundreds. Local effect. No. Look. No. Vertical speed. Is there a way to select the thousands? Here, but there's no way to. No. Cannot change this. Ah, yeah. Here. You need to click on the bezel, the external bezel. Great, so we can start our left turn. Speed brake armed. take this flood lights off to better see the runway. Okay, so we should be. We have already lock armed. '70, 170. Flaps 10. Okay, it's working. It's working. The localizer is captured, intercepted, runway inside. The distance is the distance. Okay, let's arm the glide slope. '60, flaps 15. Flaps 17. Flaps 18. Flaps 20. Gear down. I cannot see the distance. Maybe because Idvas Iduro. Let's see if execute. That's the distance because I went manually and I didn't follow the waypoints on the FMC. Okay. Yeah, I stepped some points and he missed the data. This is called 20 right. 20 right. Let's go to reference +5 and flaps 4. Here's the Terran Raider. Nice. Nice. 1000. Let's disengage the autopilot. Let's disengage the auto thrust. I've lost the track to the runway. Very sensitive. Not my best approach anyway. Let's continue. The whites to red. Let's try to stabilize this big bird. (151) reference. Idling.
40, 30, 20, 10.
On the brakes. No reverser. Brakes. There's plenty of runway to brake. Flaps up. Welcome to Singapore Changi Airport. It was my first flight, complete flight with this plane, so it has not been perfect. Anyway, I hope having shown many things about this plane, and for sure it's gotten better compared to the default. And I don't know if everything is functioning fine. Even if I didn't follow the beta process, so I don't know if something is still missing or something is have to be added in later updates. Anyway, more or less everything is functioning. I'm not an expert about the Dreamliner, but I can for sure I can state that it is almost complete for example, for an online flight on VietSim iVow. So my piece of advice is to try it. Of course, you have to own the premium deluxe version of Flight Simulator to use this plane, and that's it. Thank you again for watching this video, and I hope it's been useful to you, and see you next time. Bye bye.